scratch on both ends. Was the difference in the game. It was a very hard fought, physical, very physical, physical game. Let's just say the referees earned their money. It was a lot of calls made, but nevertheless, man, you expect that from two programs in the same city and one of the hoop hotbeds in the country, with kids that probably been battling against each other all the way up from the grassroots stage to now on the college stage. So there obviously was no fear, no intimidation, was no love lost, and both teams really got after it, man. You got to always start with Ricky Lindo Jr. He had a monster all around game. He's always been a Swiss Army knife type of player, someone that can stuff the stat sheet, man. But at times in the past, scoring wise, where he could do more, he would be kind of passive. That hasn't been the case this season, especially last night. He was very, very aggressive at attacking. He finished with a game high, tied for a game high 19 points, nine rebounds, and 4 blocks. Just a outstanding all around game. 8 for 8 from the free throw line, 5 for 8 from the field. He always brings the defense. You don't have to ever worry about that. He could be all conference player if he continues on his track. Just being aggressive every time. Just do away with the passiveness and just stay hungry and aggressive. He'll be just fine. Brandon Adams, he was big as well. 14 points, 4-7 from the field, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. He was the reason why GW had to lead at the half when everyone else was kind of cold or in foul trouble. And, they couldn't really stop Bryce Harris, who I'll get into in a minute for Howard, who had it going in the first half. He was the guy that kept GW afloat offensively and enabled them to maintain the lead at the half. You also got to look at Max Edwards, man, the sophomore youngster. 18 points, 6 of 10 shooting from the field, 2 of 5 from deep, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Look, man, I watched this kid throughout high school. Like I always say, the brighter the lights, the more he loves it, the better he plays, man. And that's what you saw last night. He had a couple of moves that you see at the NBA level where he broke down guys, reverse spin, reverse layups that wowed the crowd. He's an X factor for GW. I'm not gonna say who's better between him and last year's, essentially second option behind James Bishop, Joe Bamison, but he's kind of filling the gap with that role as being the secondary reliable scorer behind James Bishop. And on the night when James Bishop was kind of off from the field, he had 11 points, 4 of 11, even though he had 5 assists. Max Edwards stepped up. The match with Ricky Lindo stepped up. And another name that I don't want to leave off with GW, Hunter Dean, man. He fouled out late, but in his 24 minutes, 14 points and 9 rebounds. His athleticism and size is a problem for opponents to match that. And, especially with him coming in off the bench, man, you don't have too many talented bigs like that just coming off your bench. That's usually reserved for quote-unquote high majors, but GW has one, and he's been making his presence felt throughout the season. Going over to Howard's side, Bryce Harris led the team with 19 points. Bryce Harris led with 19 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks, and 8 of 13 shooting. Like I said, he did most of his damage inside in the first half, inside and a little bit out. But he's a bully of a guard. That's what he does. 6'6", 220. He could play on the wing, and he could play on the block. He can guard a lot of fours, and obviously if a lot of fours try to match up with him, he has the advantage. Being 6'6", he has guard skills, he has the quickness, athleticism, and he utilized that. And he got a couple big GW bigs in a little bit of a foul trouble in the first half where Caputo had to make some adjustments, and he took full advantage, and he was the reason why Howard kept it close in the first half. With Elijah and them trying to find their offense, Jelani Williams, Settles, all those guys with them trying to find their offense. He was the guy that kept them in the game. Otherwise, GW could have easily been up double digits, but they weren't. We got to also go to, like I said, Wood, man, 16 points, 2 rebounds, 6'10" big, man, 3 of 7 from deep. He could really stretch the floor, and that was a problem for GW. They had they had to cover a lot of ground, which helped guys like Harris and eventually Jelani Williams, who I'm gonna speak on a little bit, get going. Steve Settle, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, just a nice all-around game for another versatile forward for Howard. 6'9", athletic, local kid. He made his presence felt inside, especially from deep. He was 3 of 7 from deep as well. It don't hurt to have bigs that can get it done inside and also stretch the floor all the way out to 3-point range. That's what Howard did. That's what Howard has. That's what they utilized. And the bigs, that's what they did. And it made the game very, very competitive until the last few minutes of the game. And obviously, I can't leave out Jelani Williams, man. 14 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 steals, fouled out late, played 35 minutes, but he fouled out late. That hurt them because when GW starting to pull away, that's when he fouled out and they needed him on the floor. He was the common factor. He was the one that was getting them the shots in between, but also with Elijah Hawkins struggling because GW, every time Hawkins tried to turn the corner on like, let's say Brandon Adams was guarding Elijah Hawkins, every time he tried to turn the corner, GW used Ricky Lindo, Hunter Dean, or Noel Brown, one of those bigs, automatic trap. As soon as he even thought about turning the corner, automatic trap on him. So they didn't even let him get going. They used size and length to bother him where he had no choice but to pass the ball back out or force up a bad shot, which he's not going to do. He's a very poised point guard, high IQ, so he's not going to do that and shoot them out the game. But yeah, that disrupted Howard's offense. You know what I mean? And during the period where GW was turning the ball over a lot in the first half, I think they had about 7 turnovers in the first half compared to Howard's 1. And Howard scored 10 points off those 7 turnovers. You know, that they needed that. They needed to keep Hawkins under control. He's a shifty, quick floor general that can make guys better and can also get his and tough. And you know, it frustrated him. You know, he had 9 points and 4 assists, but it was 2 of 9 shooting. Like I said, he didn't have that many turnovers. He only had 2, but it forced him to give up the ball and make somebody else have to initiate the offense. And obviously, if you do that with any team, if they don't have multiple guards that's capable of doing that or used to doing that, it's advantage you. And the advantage was in GW's favor, man. Also, another thing that to note about this game is that GW dominated on the boards 39-22. That was huge. That made up for their turnovers. Howard scored 20 points off 14 GW turnovers. That tells you all you need to know. It was uncharacteristic of GW so far this season. They didn't turn the ball over like that in the exhibition, in the season opener against Virginia State. They really didn't turn the ball over like that. But it goes to show you that that's something that they're gonna have to correct as the season moves along. Teams gonna see that and try to turn them over in an attempt to get extra points. And that's how Howard was able to stay in the game. They capitalized on those mistakes, man. You know, if GW limited those mistakes, it's a double-digit win, man. So I love what I saw of the GW. Like I said, Ricky Lindo, just stay with it. Just stay being aggressive. Max Edwards just continue to do him. He's not your average underclassman. He's game for the lights. James Bishop, not worried about him at all. Obviously, going to every game, he's gonna be at the top of the scouting report. Senior, he understands what he need to do, and he understands also that he doesn't need to force anything. He has guys that can get it done. Just wait for his moments to do what he does, and that's pretty much what he did last night. Brandon Adams has been the X factor for GW, the unsung hero. He guards their best perimeter threat, pressing 94 feet, pretty much plays the entire game. He rebounds. He can facilitate. He's shooting well from the field early in the season, and he's become a secondary floor general. You know, when they trap James Bishop in the backcourt, he's fully capable of bringing the ball up court, handling the pressure. It's not just dribbling up. No, even when they try to pressure him, he gets the ball up the court, initiates the offense, gets guys good shots, man. And that's tough. So it's hard to game plan just for James Bishop. You got a game plan for both, and that's hard to do. And he's another senior. And you know what I mean? He's a little bit bigger than Bishop, about 6'4", 6'5", 205, 210. Got a lot of strength with him and whatnot, so that makes him a versatile defender. You know, I won't be shocked to see Caputo at times put him on certain bigs, stretch forwards at times, because there's know-how his attention to detail and the way he can move on the floor and his strength. He can hold his own down there. If let's say Ricky Lindo has 4 fouls, 3 fouls in the first half or something like that, a couple of the other bigs got fouls and whatnot, he's fully capable of going down there and dealing with the forward while the other big deals with the other opposing team center and being effective at it. His versatility defensively outside Ricky Lindo on the team is unmatched. So he's a valuable asset, man. He's definitely been, the X factor for this team, man. So good win, 2-0. See if they can continue to build on what they're doing. There's a lot of energy around the team, a lot of optimism. Obviously, Caputo comes in with a great reputation as a coach, and the staff that he brought on board, and they look good, man. And the thing I love about this team, they're leading on the defense, man. It starts there. It's not so offensive based. It's defense first, and then they do what they do on offense, man. So I'm encouraged by that, and that allows you to win. Man, you win a lot of games like that. When your offense not going, you're not hitting a lot of shots. Like I said, GW was off in the first half. They were in foul trouble. They were turning the ball over. How did they even sustain the lead? Defense. They didn't allow Howard to get going. And Howard has some horses. They had some dudes that you will see on the all-MEAC, all-conference teams later on this season for sure. You know what I mean? They already had one in the floor general, Elijah Hawkins. So a couple more is fully capable of joining that list, man. So I appreciate you joining me. I'm gonna keep these coming throughout the season, and it should be a fun season, man. There's a lot of talent with GW. The A10 is always competitive, so we're gonna see how they adjust game to game. Talk to you guys later.